All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into a symbol that's popped up for centuries and, honestly, is just fascinating, the chariot.
So, on one hand, you've got this totally wild, mind-bending vision of a divine vehicle right out of the Bible. And on the other, it's this super famous tarot card that's all about personal victory. I mean, what could these two possibly have in common, right? Well, the connection is actually pretty amazing.
So, let's kick things off with the biblical vision. And just to give you an idea of how strange this thing was, some people, like the author Eric von Däniken, looked at it and thought, yep, that's got to be an alien spaceship. I mean, his whole ancient astronaut theory is, well, it's out there, but it really shows you just how bizarre this vision was to people. So, okay, let's get into it.
So our story starts with the prophet Ezekiel. He sees this radiant storm cloud coming at him from the north. But, this is no ordinary storm. It's a divine throne chariot, something called the Merkabah. And we're talking about a vehicle of just unimaginable power.
And what I find really cool about this whole account is how Ezekiel actually perceives it. It's not like he gets it all at once, like a flash of insight. No, he has to process it piece by piece as this thing gets closer. It's almost like his brain is literally struggling to compute a reality that's just way beyond anything human.
So the first thing that comes into focus for him are four living creatures called the Hayot. And these aren't your average animals. They're these complex, winged hybrid beings, and each one has four different faces: a man, a lion, an ox, and an eagle. And they're not just for show. They're acting as these fearsome guardians for this sacred space. And get this, they're basically the living throne for an invisible God.
Yeah, and these creatures are also known as cherubs. But I need you to just erase any image you have of those pudgy, cute little baby angels from Western art. That's not what we're talking about. The original biblical cherubs, they were based on these massive, imposing figures from the ancient Near East, like the Sphinx. They were designed to be terrifying and awe-inspiring, not something you'd put on a greeting card.
Okay, so next, Ezekiel sees the wheels, the ophanim, and this is where things get really wild. Try to picture a gyroscope, but made of energy. The design is just nuts. It's a wheel inside another wheel set at a right angle. This lets the whole thing move in any direction, up, down, left, right, without ever having to turn. And to top it all off, the rims are covered in eyes, and they're alive, powered by the same spirit as the creatures. Just incredible.
And then we get to the climax of the vision. Above all this, the creatures, the wheels, there's a platform, and it's shimmering like it's made of crystal. And on top of that is a throne that looks like it's been carved out of a single giant sapphire. And sitting on that throne is a figure, a shape that has the semblance of a human form.
And that's the moment it all clicks for him. The sight is just so overwhelming that Ezekiel finally gets what he's seeing. This isn't just a vision, it's a real physical manifestation of the divine. And what does he do? He just collapses, completely overcome by it all. So let's hold on to that image of this incredible divine chariot and see how it connects to something a bit more personal.
Okay, so let's shift gears completely now. We're going from the cosmic and divine right down into the human psyche with the chariot card from the tarot. This is a totally different kind of vehicle, you guys. This one is powered by something else entirely, pure human willpower.
So this card is number 7 in the Major Arcana, which is a pretty big deal in the Tarot's whole story about the journey of the self. And the number 7 itself, it's often tied to things like spiritual awakening and looking inward. So it's kind of the perfect number for a card that's all about mastering what's inside you to get success on the outside.
When you see this card, it's all about victory. But we're not talking about a victory that comes from luck or chance. No, this is the kind of success you get through pure, hardcore determination, focused action, and the self-control it takes to just bust through obstacles. I mean, think about a time in your life when you accomplished something just through sheer force of will. That's the chariot energy right there.
Now this is a really important detail. The chariot isn't pulled by horses, it's pulled by two sphinxes, and they're pulling in opposite directions. You usually see one is black and one is white, and they represent all those conflicting forces we have inside us, right? Like our conscious mind versus our unconscious, or logic versus intuition. It's kind of like trying to drive a car that has two separate engines, and both of them want to go a different way. Your job is to somehow get them to work together and pull you forward. And this image immediately makes you think of the old myth of Oedipus, right? He's the guy who comes to a crossroads, is challenged by the Sphinx with a riddle, and he triumphs by using his intellect and his willpower to solve it. And what does he get? He wins a whole kingdom.
I mean, it's the perfect story to illustrate what the chariot is all about. Victory through mental and spiritual mastery.
So, okay, we've got this incredible divine vehicle that represents some kind of cosmic truth. And we have this powerful personal symbol that's all about our inner journey. They seem so different. But what happens when we actually put them side by side? Let's take a look.
When you lay it all out like this, a really powerful pattern just jumps out at you. I mean, look, both are vehicles. Both are about a journey. Both are driven by a single, focused will. One is God's, one is yours, and both drivers have to control these powerful, conflicting forces to get where they're going. So, what's the big connection here? It's all about the journey of mastery.
And that's the real takeaway here, isn't it? It doesn't matter if the journey is cosmic and out there or deeply personal and in here. The path to having a big revelation or achieving a huge victory, it's the same. It's all about finding balance and taking control of those conflicting forces. It's about steering all that chaos into one focused forward direction. So yeah, the next time you're up against a big challenge, maybe think about the chariot. It's a powerful reminder that you really do have the power to steer your own destiny.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought to chew on. The chariot, it isn't just some cool symbol from a bizarre old story or a deck of cards. It's really a question. It's a question for each of us about our own lives. So what are the opposing forces pulling you in different directions? And how are you learning to take the reins and master them? Because the answer to that, well, that's your chariot journey.